Hello, everybody. Here we are in a new episode of DevLive. We are approaching the largest tech conference for this autumn, DevCon. So we'll meet on 6th and 7th of November at Nord Event Center by Global World. So till then, I have the honor today to have two guests beside me from ING Hubs Romania, which is our Java track partners. And with this episode, I would like to thank them for their trust, and we're eager to meet them on stage at DevCon. So for the beginning, I would like to introduce Stefan David Cotruță, which is an engineer at ING Hubs Romania. And a short bit about Stefan is that he's been with ING Hubs Romania from the beginning of 2024 as an engineer in the payments and settlements team. He's a resourceful problem solver, and he has a deep affinity for learning and exploring with new technologies. So welcome, Stefan.
Hello.
And also we have with us Mihaiță Tintă, which is chapter lead engineer at ING Hubs Romania. Mihaiță is an engineer with 10 years of experience in the tech industry, and he has delivered numerous mobile and web applications along the way. So he's an avid learner, always on the lookout for the latest developments in the area. So welcome officially to DevLive.
Thank you. Good to be here.
In order to accommodate with our audience, I would like to start with a fresh question. Let's say, how did you start your career at ING Hubs, and what do you love most about working here?
Well, I started working at ING through the Dev School program, which is an eight-week bootcamp designed for students and recent graduates. Here we learned the key technologies that are used in ING, and we are constantly evaluated throughout the course. This culminated with a project that we had to do in teams, in which you had to design the backend of an application with the knowledge we gained along the course. And the thing that I like most about working in ING is that the work is never boring. Having so many complex applications, interesting situation always arise, and you have to always come up with innovative ways to solve them.
Thank you, Stefan. Mihaiță, would you like to share also, or we can...
Yeah, well, I started my career in ING in 2018, and I joined, let's say, a service related to the PSD2 initiative. So that's an, let's say, an initiative at the European level, and then it was an opportunity for ING Hubs and ING to use some PSD2 data. So all the banks have to share their, let's say, data towards other third-party providers, and then let's say, making use of that data, it can provide useful services for the end customers. So I started there and then switched to different projects along the way.
Thank you for sharing this with us. Since we'll be meeting you at DevCon pretty soon, I think it's 1 month distance till the conference. Can you share with us maybe 3 key points that the participants will get from your talks?
Okay. Well, firstly, our focus was on creating a local setup which can simulate a predictable environment, which can be used to obtain precise performance results. When running performance tests, or any test in general, variables can influence the outcome. So by controlling as many things that we can, we try to mitigate their effects and obtain consistent results. Additionally, we will run various scenarios with increasing complexity as we go, and by adding multiple processing steps, we'll see how each of them impacts performance of the application. Without spoiling anything, we show how one line of code can decrease the performance even by 100 times. And maybe the main takeaway would be the importance of running these kinds of tests from the beginning of the development process, and by ideally automatically doing this after every change, teams can detect performance bottlenecks a lot sooner.
Okay. So thank you. We're eager and excited to meet you on 6th of November. I have another question, and I'm really curious because you said that's really exciting to be part of an innovative company and also to test different projects. How has the company helped you to achieve your goals along the way?
In ING, we are encouraged to be one step ahead in life and in business. So one way to do this is by continuously learning. And besides the project related to the hub, we also have in the job objectives another stretch ambition objectives that can take us out of the comfort zone, and we can do this by learning new things. And in my case, during my years in ING Hubs, I developed several internal projects by using, let's say, exotic programming languages or tools that are not adopted yet, at least by the hub. And for a developer like myself, embracing a different programming language or a tool, this can open up perspectives to help us getting better and get our job done more effective in the end. So I would say I get to the full support to learn more.
My next question is, what do you like most about your current role?
I'm working in the hub as a chapter lead in one of the SWAT teams, and a SWAT team consists of let's say a group of experienced developers trying to help the organization move further. For example, when teams are struggling with different kind of issues, and I like the fact that we can rotate projects more often, and we are exposed to a variety of issues, not just related to coding. So, for example, we run assessments, and before we enter a specific project, and depending on the situation, we can either help with designing maybe the architecture, provide assistance in the security and risk reviews. We can automate things. We can work on implementing features maybe faster. But at the end of the day, it's not just about coding. It's being able to deal with challenging issues. So
Okay.
I really like it.
Thank you. I think you receive a lot, very often this question. What makes ING Hubs the best?
Well, for me, in ING, we use a variety of tools and technologies to create our applications, which are massive and have a global reach. This having everyone use your applications makes you feel like your work really matters. And we also have great benefits like flexible schedule and the option to switch to a 4-day work week. And teams are also deciding how often and when to go to the office, and it's usually on a interaction with a purpose basis.
Okay. So access to the technology stack and also the flexibility makes ING Hubs the best workplace. Yes. If we have any advice for the aspiring tech people who want to start their career or grow in the industry, what would be your piece of advice?
I can say that when I started programming, I thought to myself, how should I start? So there were like two options. You can either get some certification, so a paper that can prove that you learn some concepts and you can use it to get a specific job, or you can also work on side projects, try to troubleshoot issues, deal with specific problems in order to create a working solution. Sometimes, let's say, coding without reading the whole documentation makes troubleshooting and debugging harder. But those kind of issues that you learn the hard way, they are also harder to forget. So aspiring tech people, I think they should find their own balance. And you can add on top of these two ways the generative AI learning body. But especially beginners should also be very careful of what they get from those systems, because at the end of the day, at least for the moment, we are still the ones maintaining those production systems. So I think being open and trying to learn in various ways is the most important thing, and be curious along the way.
Thank you. Our ending question, let's say so, it's pretty unusual, and I think it's interesting to share some personal perspective. What's the best job decision you've ever made? And also, I would like afterwards to share the worst one.
So I can say that usually in the day-to-day job, we are paid to implement features, and usually a feature is increasing the complexity of a system. When we talk about distributed system and we evolve the architecture in a microservice way, if let's say we apply this pattern with a bad design, we can actually increase many times that complexity. And in my case, sticking with a simple architecture in a monolithic way was actually the best decision for a specific project where I worked on, because we actually didn't want to just switch to microservices because it was a buzzword. Everybody wanted to use it. We eventually created a couple of microservices, but only after really understanding what we wanted to achieve and if the benefits outweighed the overhead. So when you have new applications, you have a lot of services around those applications. You have pipelines, you have monitoring, logging, and so on. So only if the advantages or the benefits are greater than the overhead, only then you should actually try to improve the architecture. So keeping things simpler in the right time is actually, on the long run, the best decision. And I can also answer what's the worst decision, which I made, and it's actually more related to the beginning of my career as a developer. At that time, and I think also today, you can still have this temptation to use Stack Overflow or other systems that can provide you some piece of code. You get this decision to copy-paste that piece of code in your application, and this can become a worst decision if, let's say, you don't really understand what's there, you don't properly test it. So our job, it doesn't finish when the code is working. We should iterate a little more over whatever we got inspiration from, and then make sure that we can actually understand and adjust that code to the application scope. So the worst decision is copy-pasting without blindly copy-pasting. We need to use the muscle memory of typing and understanding what we are writing.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your insights with us. We are really excited to meet you on 6th and 7th of November. Also, you will meet your colleagues at the Expo area booth, and we are more than eager to find out the challenges, the good and the bad decisions, also to be shared with our dev community. So thank you, Mihaița. Thank you, Ștefan, for joining today, and see you at DevCon.
See you there.
Yeah, bye.